Neonics are a class of water-soluble and systemic pesticides, first registered in the mid-1990s. Systemic pesticides can be moved from the site of application to another site within the plant. Some of the brand names of neonics are imidacloprid, ticloprid, and clothianidin. The most common crops neonics are applied to are corn and soybeans. Research has proven that neonics are having detrimental effects on the ecosystem. The lethal and sublethal effects on pollinators, such as bees, is the most popularly known effect. However, neonics are also causing issues in aquatic habitats. Amphibians, fish, and macroinvertebrates, along with other aquatic organisms, are experiencing sublethal effects such as neurological, hormonal, and immune suppression, along with death. They also pose a threat to human health. Neonic pesticides gain popularity due to the direct application to soil and integration into the plant. For agriculture, coating the seed is also popular. These methods of soil application and seed coating were found to be more effective than application to the plant. Soil applications pose a threat to groundwater and nearby water bodies. If not fully absorbed upon application, neonics leak into the groundwater and percolate in the soils that can contaminate other water bodies along the watershed. It is commonly known that neonics pose a threat to pollinators. Less is known by the public about the threat to aquatic life and amphibians. Let's take action. Government regulation has a big effect on how this continuing issue can be handled. Let's focus on three main departments: the EPA, the USDA, and the Fish and Wildlife. The USDA is in charge of regulating agriculture. They work cooperatively with the EPA when dealing with things such as pesticide usage in agriculture. In terms of pesticides, the EPA is in charge of assessing, registering, reviewing, and regulating pesticides. Gap exists in the third department, the Fish and Wildlife. The EPA and the USDA can communicate, but there is a gap in communication with the Fish and Wildlife. Under the Endangered Species Act, consultations can occur between the EPA and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife in regards to banning or reevaluating pesticides. However, the EPA has not voluntarily completed a consultation since 1993. The federal and state levels of the Fish and Wildlife are directly affected by the EPA and USDA decisions, but have little authority in the decision-making. Currently, the neonics are banned in Europe until December 2015. Recently, the EPA has made a decision to disapprove new neonic pesticides that pose a threat to pollinators. The EPA has not considered other non-target organisms besides pollinators. Aquatic ecosystems also need to be considered. A step in the right direction would be to promote sustainable farming. Farmland LP has proven that being sustainable can be economically successful and environmentally friendly. A switch to sustainability and not using pesticides would greatly improve aquatic ecosystems. The EPA and USDA need to feel the pressure to promote sustainable farming. Doing so could also bridge the gap with the Fish and Wildlife.